Historic Properties Committee has been doing this for a number of years. And we spent some of the year looking for properties, looking at properties that we feel answer the question, would the person who first lived here recognize it? It's really easy criteria. If somebody has sided the house, or they put in a bay window, or it's changed it. And so we were incredibly surprised to find the number of houses here in Webster who people have maintained the integrity of the architecture, and those houses are really our visible history. The buildings, I was just looking at the train that went through the village, and I think is that right on the lake up there? That, you know, and bits of our history, we like seeing them. And so that's what we're all about, is to make sure that you're able to continue to see our visible history. Lynn Barton and I did a talk at the library last week with photographs of all the houses that we have given plaques to. And it's a lot of them, isn't it, Lynn?
69.
Yes.
Wow.
And we have 6 again tonight. So we do have a lot of visible history. Webster started out as a farming community, and many of those long-lasting buildings were farmhouses. And there's a particular architectural style, it's called gable front side wing, and you see them everywhere around town. And the ones that are brick are the ones that are the least changed, and we were surprised again to find how many have been just so well cared for. So we're here tonight to say thank you to 6 more people, and thank you to our town of Webster officials for helping this happen. Without you, we couldn't do this. And so we appreciate you immensely. Barry Dean is, and a special thanks to Barry, because he is your representative to the museum. And he's been, well, thank you very much. So we're going to begin tonight with the earliest. We started out by only giving plaques to houses built before 1902. But then we discovered there were a lot that have maintained their integrity that are newer. And they're unique. And so tonight you're going to see some of the newer ones, but unique. So the first one you're going to see tonight is, actually was 1934. And our history person, the member of our committee, Mary Fran Grenier, is going to come up and present that plaque.
Come on, Bill. I'm not really doing the presenting, am I? Oh, Ron, come down.
We don't want to. Oh, all right, so we'll be in good shape.
All right.
Okay.
The first one?
Yes.
I'll just say a few things about the home. The charming little Tudor Revival house, 80 East Main Street in the Village, has got to be one of the favorite homes for many, many people in our area. It's the only Tudor-style commercial building in the whole town, and it really looks like a storybook home, very, very unusual. It was built by the Rochester Telephone Company approximately 1934-35 to house the exchange for the 900 plus people in Webster who subscribed to get a telephone. And so this was in the early 1930s. And there are 2 other buildings very similar to it that the Rochester Telephone Company built. One of them is in West Henrietta, New York, and the other one is in Dansville. But I think ours is the best. It was after 1961, there were just too many telephones for the building to handle. so it became a law office then. And now it is home to the popular and elegant Friday Brighton Hair Salon. And we'll be presenting the plaque to the owner, William Stats.
Get a couple pictures.
Oh, I'm here.
She's hiding from the camera.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Gary, for
Thank you.
Okay. The next property is a bungalow, and we don't have many bungalows. There was kind of a time when we had a lot of farmhouses, and then the first housing development in Webster was in the village, the Shanks Tract, that was 1959. And so there's not that many bungalows, and this one is just a treasure. So Lisa McNamara, okay.
On a stroll through Webster Village, streets 37 Gordon Park will reveal a charming circa 1920s bungalow that Lori and Burley Chillicoe have lovingly cared for since 1997. This bungalow on a large lot with earthy, vibrant landscaping and was once a part of an early planned development, Gordon Orchard Park. The bungalow style has a rich heritage. The word is anglicized Hindi, Bangala, meaning house in the Bengal style. Traditionally, a one-story house with a low-pitched roof, creating a wide porch or veranda that allows a cooling breeze. This style house was affordable, easy to care for, as no servants were needed. The popularity swept from west to east coast via magazines and pattern books. This land is a 1 1/2 story bungalow, features a dormer atop the side gabled roof, decorative brackets under overhanging eaves with contrasting colors. On trim windows, they have various textures in the use of brick, and the wood siding and the wide porch framed by brick piers supporting the flared columns above. These design elements are indicative of the arts and crafts aesthetic popular in the 1920s and 30s. Also includes what may be Webster's first in-ground pool. Pretty cool.
Congratulations, Lori.
Oh, thank you.
Come on right up here and get a good picture. Thank you.
Now I'm going to confess, I left my list in the car. And so this date is 1890. Who is that? Is that Jan?
Yeah.
All right.
Come on in, Jean.
This is Jan Naokis, another member of the committee. She lives in a beautiful old brick house with a plaque.
Yes, you do. The first year we got our plan. Sharon and I lived in a home, so we started the committee with the cranes and So we were the first to get our flags, that was nice. The building on 1890, but I don't believe anybody's here from our salon. Okay, this is 28 East Main Street. Webster was formed in 1840, and this building was built in 1890. Just as Main Street businesses were starting to prosper, the year 1900 marked the turning point in the development of the village. The first bank and the Rochester Sodas Bay trolley line linked Webster to Rochester, and this building served as the trolley station for Webster. It was built as a retail location with wide open windows and the wide molded framing. The building gives it a balanced and eye-appealing look. Many businesses have used the location, as well as the Webster Chamber of Commerce. Today, a prosperous our salon and spa and the owner, Scott Dennis, occupy the building, and they are maintaining the character of the architecture. So I believe they told me they're coming.
Probably still a little here.
Yes, right. They're busy.
You could get on the trolley in Rochester, you could get on the trolley in Webster, and it would take you right out to Sodas Point. Have a picnic, get on the trolley and come home.
And we had farmers who told us that they would put their cans of milk out by the road, and the trolley would pick them up and take them out to sodas. It was important to us. It really opened it up.
Until about 1930.
Yeah.
You know what happened in 1930? Around that time? Automobiles. And people could buy their own and drive themselves right out to Sodas Point. And people particularly enjoyed the ride on the trolley at this time of year, because the apples were all in bloom the whole way.
Right.
And then in the fall, the fruit trees, and then the fruit in the fall. So it was really a very, very important part of life here in Webster. Okay, our next one is 1886. That might be me. No, that's not.
No.
1886, so is that Jan again? All right.
And there, this is the Everett family, and they're here.
There they come.
First house. Come on. What's your name? And this is Stacy and Jerry Everett. They live at 237 Phillips Road. This home is a front gable side wing with decorative trim. And notice the shutters on the windows and the lintels above the windows. You can. Is it right here? Yeah, right here, see it? And the extra detail of a window at the top. The owners, Jeremy and Stacy Everett, found the build date 1886 on the foundation. There are 4 bedrooms, and the previous owners found many old bottles between the walls when renovating. Floors were replaced with the gymnasium floors from Geneseo and MCC colleges, right? The barn is said to be older than the home. There are 2 acres, and many old fruit trees remain on the property. If you look at the neighbor's house and this house, they look very similar in style, and it's said that 2 sisters originally built the homes together. We don't know who they were, but that's all they've heard, and so we put it in. So congratulations.
Thank
Thank you for maintaining your home. We have, there's kind of a span of years because they're not quite certain of the exact build date. So their plaque says 1856. And the Kaminski family, you want to all come up, please? Actually, this property's been in their family for 93 years. 93 years for their family.
Joan,
Yes.
it's Barry.
Well, you're all dressed up.
We went to high school together.
93 years ago?
Well, we're delighted you're here tonight. I've driven by this, we've all driven by this house for a long, long time. It's at 797 Hard Road. And as I read, you'll figure out where it is. It was built between 1856, 1858 on 178 acres of land. That's a lot. So it was a big farm. There are no fireplaces. And it was heated with a coal furnace. And then they had gravity registers, I think they're called. And the heat would go up. I lived in a house like that at one time too. Yes, exactly. Or we used to listen to my mother's bridge club. You can hear a lot of things, yes. In 1926, Joseph and Agnes Kaminski, who had emigrated from Poland, purchased the property. It included a two-family house, 3 barns, a 3-unit chicken coop, a garage, and a 2-car outhouse. The main farming crop was winter wheat, and horses were used for plowing until a tractor was purchased in 1947. There were also cows, pigs, a large vegetable garden, fruit trees, and between 500 and 1,000 chickens, they told me. Much of their produce was sold at markets in Rochester. Now I'm gonna say this, it's not in my paper here, but maybe your husband told me about the fact that
Yes.
the produce would be taken to market on a truck. But sometimes, you know, to get out of Webster, you have to go up a hill.
I call it the Dugway still.
The Dugway, yes. Yep, and so in order to get that truck up the hill with the produce, they would back it up the hill.
Oh my
They couldn't go forward.
Lord,
Yes. Yep, so they would back it up the hill on their way to market.
And then my brother-in-law said to my father, well, what about all the other traffic? He says, what other traffic? They were all backing their cars up.
So later 15 acres were sold to the Catholic Diocese of Rochester. 10 acres are now the home of St. Paul's Church, and the remaining property was developed for homes. The large aging barns were taken down, but a smaller barn, garage, and chicken coops remained. In 2008, 3 acres and home were sold to Kaminski's great-grandson, Brian Colombo. That would be your son, okay. Thus keeping the property in the family for 93 years.
I spent a lifetime working in the highway department, so I go by your house
Yes,
many
that's right.
times a day.
That's right, you do, it's right across the street.
You do?
Wait, you gotta get an official picture.
That house is just beautiful.
Thank you.
So when you drive down Hard Road and you are right, you drive past the house on the left, and then St. Paul's is next. So it's very visible, very visible. Our last property is one that we've worried about for a long time. Thank you. we kept our eye, the historic properties people, we've kept our eye on this house for a long time. It is at 650 Ridge Road, kind of across from the bowling alley. Very early house, and was falling into great disrepair. I had a tour of it, and it's quite interesting. The beams in the roof upstairs and the attic are all tree trunks. And yeah, so again, the plaque says 1812. We think that's a tad early for the building, but we know there was a blacksmith shop there. We know that it was a stagecoach stop. And so it's been recently recited, so the original owner probably wouldn't recognize it, but it has such a wonderful history that we really felt. And also we wanted to say thank you to the person who has saved it. Peter Elder?
Yes. Is Philip here? He didn't come. Okay.
Come on up.
All right, all right.
Do your thing.
I don't have much to add to what you said. So this home is particularly significant because it is one of the earliest homes in Webster. It was actually owned by Ebenezer Cook, who was one of the original settlers of West Webster. So he came here about 1812, and the house was built somewhere between 1812 and 1820. And then from that point on, it served as a blacksmithy, it served as a tavern, and it was a stagecoach stop. So it has a huge amount of history to it, and it was in some disrepair. Mr. Donato, he took it under his belt to repair it. He took down the alien garage next to it, re-sided it, and hopefully it'll stay around for a lot longer. So, but it is one of the earliest houses in Webster, so you probably want to recognize it.
So thank you all. Peter will take that. Thank you. We go out to lunch, have meetings, and have a good time. We will appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.